What's going on, you guys? I know it's been a while since I did a video. Just been really busy at work, most of all. You know, with the holidays, people going on vacation, I've been covering and doing all sorts of stuff there. And then at the end of the year, you know, some of my permits are expiring, so I'm refiling and making sure to renew permits and make sure everything is set for 2020. And of course, I'm doing all of my animal feeding and maintenance and some breeding also going on. And we have the Reptile Super Show coming up in 3 weeks from today. So I wanted to do a video and give you guys kind of a show preview like I've done in the past, nothing new really. But we do have some different animals, stuff that we're not usually carrying. So that's been taking up a lot of my time, actually getting a lot of these baby snakes ready for the expo. So today's video, I'm going to do a show preview like I said, and I don't know if you guys watched the earlier video, but I remarked that I was waiting for my missing animal plastics cage because my OCD is really getting the best of me. This is really bothersome to me. I need to fill this gap so it comes in even. And almost exactly 4 months to the day, I got my animal plastics cage. So I'm going to be putting this together and throwing that sucker on top and making everything right in the world. Everything's going to be right in this office. No more weird, crooked, missing pieces. And that's going to be today. So, animal plastics, I placed the order. At the time I placed the order, I believe they said 10 to 12 weeks lead time, something along those lines. 2 weeks ago I sent an email. I got no reply. Actually 3 weeks ago I sent an email. Last weekend I decided to ask them if they were even still in business because I was just kind of starting to really wonder. And then I shot them a Facebook message and I got a reply really fast, just within a few minutes. And then I got an email the very next day, and lo and behold, they said that my cage was going to be shipping on Monday, which was like 2 days after I had started the dialogue on Facebook. So anyway, I don't know if that still would have shipped if I kept my mouth shut or not. I don't know if that was scheduled or if it was just me starting to question whether or not I was going to get this cage, because you know, I placed that order a long time ago, and I was wondering if that cage was even going to come prior to me retiring, which obviously would be a complete waste of time and money for me. But anyway, I'll be able to enjoy that cage for a few months anyway, it looks like. So anyway, I'm going to get this cage put together. I don't know really what it entails. I don't expect it to be too difficult, but with me, you never know. Things always tend to be difficult when it comes to putting things together. So let's get this cage built. Let me fill this gap, and I'm going to show you guys some animals, and let me get started. Alright, thank you for your help. So, this is pretty much done. It's a couple details. And now, I am going to fix my OCD and get this sucker up here. Okay, there it is. My OCD is fixed. What do you think, Apple? Looks pretty good?
Great.
All right, that's all right. So, Animal Plastics cages, I do have to say, this is extremely well thought out. The way it ships flat, it goes together really fast and easy. It's a very durable cage, a very well made cage. They're not super heavy, easy to manipulate, and you know, these are all used cages. These are a number of years old already, and I feel like there's no expiration date on these cages. They just seem like they're going to last forever. So anyway, I put the silicone sealant is in there. I think the directions said it takes 4 to 7 days for it to properly set. So obviously I'm not going to put any animals in here until next weekend, until everything is all settled. The LED lights are in there, but I need to kind of get that wired, and then the radiant heat panel, another one. Each one of these cages has a big radiant heat panel like this, so we'll get that mounted in there at some point. And I got the glass doors. They came separate, packed really well in styrofoam, so they're in good shape. And that is about it. I think it looks really nice. All the cages have this this shelf. I see my snakes using it a lot, so that's why I opted to get another basking shelf. These colubrids, anyway, they seem to be up here a lot. So that's about it. All right, Animal Plastics, thank you for sending me my cage. It completes this room. So that's about it. So something that I don't have sitting around here that often is monitor lizards. I have 4 Molinas monitors. They came a few weeks ago now. Beautiful, really, really nice. I thought that they would already been sold and gone, shipped out or whatever. A number of people reached out to me. They were going to pull the trigger. They ghosted me. Whatever, it's your loss. It's just the nature of selling reptiles. I guess that's normal, right? But anyway, it looks like these 4 animals are going to go with us to the Reptile Super Show. These are absolutely phenomenal. Like I said, we've had them here already for a while, and they're fattening up and they are looking really good, really healthy. But look at the colors on these. I mean, these are amazing, amazing Molinas. Got some really nice body weight and musculature there at the base of the tail. Really nice animals. Clearly these all 4 are from the same locality. They don't all look the same. A lot of times I get animals that come in with quite a varied appearance, but these to me definitely look very, very similar to one another. And man, this one even has some weird like striping and stuff. And we just have them out soaking here in the sun, give them a little bit of give them some warmth and some sun, some hydration, but really, really nice animals. So looks like we're gonna have these at the Super Show. So if you're interested, hit me up. They will be there if you want to reserve 1 or 2 or all 4. I only have these 4, so I don't think these are gonna last very long. These are really, really nice animals. Okay, this one's quite rare. It's a little Apodora, a little Papuan olive python. Just a little tiny baby, great demeanor, fantastic appetite, and I'm waiting for 1 shed so it can really clean up for me, but it's already looking really, really nice. The iridescence is nice in this sun too. I really like this species of python, and to see them this small is very, very rare. So that's going to be pretty cool. I think people will get a kick out of seeing that at the Super Show for sure. And I have this one barneck that is really dark, and to me I just think that this thing is awesome. This is definitely a very uncommon look for barnecks. They usually don't have this much dark pigment on them. When this one came, it was a little thin, it was in the middle of a shed, and it just needed some TLC. Now it's doing fantastic. It's shed twice, it's feeding Never an issue with feeding, but now it's looking fantastic. And this thing is really amazing. I love the dark. Very, very different. And pretty good temperament as well. I hardly ever take these animals out, but I like this one a lot. It's going to be hard to see this one go, but it's got to go, you guys. But if it stays around here for a while, it's okay by me. It's just going to get prettier. And I have two Candoya carinata, the Indonesian dwarf tree boas. These guys have been here actually for quite a while now, several months. They're doing fantastic. I think they're both girls, if I remember correctly. I'd have to look at them again to be sure. But I fed them yesterday, house geckos each. They're doing great. The online sales have been really weak. They've been good, but I've been getting a very large amount of people that, they want to buy stuff and they're down and everything, and then they just disappear. So these animals have been sold a number of times and they're still here. I don't really rely on Reptile's sales or proceeds to survive, so I don't really get desperate at any point, but these animals will be, again, at the show. They will be available. And I should have some house geckos too. The house geckos are going to be sold with any of the lizard eating species that I have, so I'll be able to give you guys an opportunity to have like a starter pack of house geckos. And these guys don't eat that much. I mean, they could eat probably like one house gecko a month even, and they would be just fine. But I'm giving them like one house gecko every couple of weeks. Their metabolisms are very slow. They're not very active snakes, so they really don't need a ton of food to get by. So they're not very difficult. But they're feeding, they're doing great. They're really pretty also. And I have two yellow anacondas, double het, granite and patternless. I think it's a pair actually. I'd have to look to be sure, but I think it's a male and a female. So I have two left from that litter, really nice looking animals. And they're ready to go. They will also be at the Super Show. The other one that I have is just a little bit smaller, a little slower to get started, but they're doing really good now, so they're off to the races. Really nice animals. Okay, and Boiga nigroceps, I have one or two of these guys feeding on rodents and doing really, really well. These guys have been here with me for a long time, actually. We haven't done any expos in a while now, so animals are just kind of sitting here as we gear up and make sure that we have plenty of surplus for this expo coming up. So also we'll be at the show. Quite nice. So for anybody that's into Viper boas, I'm going to have a very, very large selection of Viper boas at the expo. I've had these guys here. They came in between May and June, so they've been here a long time. Almost all of them have shed. I have a good amount. There's still some that are still holding out that haven't had their first shed yet in captivity, but most of them are. They're all feeding on rodents, and I've even been doing frozen thawed because I've been going through so many rodents. I've been cleaning out my supplier really bad, so I've been digging into the freezer and getting rid of a lot of frozen stuff, but these guys seem to not care. So rat pinkies and rat pups on these. So we'll have everything there at the show is feeding long-term animals, males and females, mostly males, but I do have some females, so we'll be selling pairs of those, and lone males are no problem. And like always, we will have green tree pythons, mostly Beox, maybe a couple of others, other localities, but I have a pretty good amount of surplus animals, both red and yellow neos, and we'll be bringing out quite a good amount of these also. And like always, these have been sitting here with us for a long time. Many, many meals in them. They are ready for new homes. They are not finicky eaters. I don't have one finicky eater in the bunch. Every week that I go through and I feed, they all eat every single week. So, they're like tried and true, time tested. They're ready to go. So Tricolor Hognose. I have 1, 1, 2, 3. I have 3.5, I think it looks like. So they're all eating pinkies. Only one of them is on scented pinkies, and everything else is just taking just plain old pinkies. So they're definitely well on their way, and they've been here now a number of weeks. So they're growing too. They were super, super tiny when they first got here. So we're going to have Tricolor Hognose, something that we don't always have. And we have baby mangroves. As you guys know, they are coming along quite well. I just have a couple that are holding out that I'm assist feeding, and all the rest of them are well on their way. Most of them are taking frozen thawed actually, which is pretty good, especially for me, because like I keep saying, with having so many babies in here and such a need for a big amount of pinkies, it's nice to be able to get into my freezer and utilize the frozen stuff. And these guys are not being fussy about it. So that's really cool. I have sold a number of them and shipped them out, but this week is my last week for shipping. I'm done. Probably not going to be around or available to do any shipping probably into 2020. So, and if anyone is curious, the black one finally has taken frozen thawed on its own. So that was the one animal I was really hoping that was gonna establish for me, and it looks like it is. It's got good size and everything, so that is something that makes me quite happy. So usually the real pretty obscure, odd, aberrant animals are the ones that don't make it for some reason, but I think this one's gonna not follow suit. I think it's gonna be just fine. And I still have this baby Nigroceps here. It's doing really well, and it's getting quite dull now because it's going into a shed, but we still have 3 weeks to the super show, so I'm thinking it's going to be fresh shed for the show, which is perfect as far as I'm concerned. So, little bug-eyed critter. And I have a number of paradise flying snakes. This is the smallest one that I have. And I don't want to mess with it too much because I just gave it a house gecko yesterday, and it's in its belly, so I don't want to stress it out. But this animal's been eating great, as have the other animals, the larger animals that I have. So we'll bring out a few of these guys. I should have, I think, at least like 2 pairs, 3 pairs maybe, something like that. And Barron's racers, again, I know I've shown you guys a lot of these animals, but I'm just showing them again for those of you that are just kind of new to the channel and you want to see the show preview. This is basically the rundown. Barron's racers, very well started. Many meals in already, growing very fast. I have some hatchling, well, I just sold one, I think there's 2 left. Gold D'Alberts, northern white-lip pythons. Now these are just like 1 meal in or whatever, so this will give me an opportunity. I have 3 weeks between now and the super show. So we will get as many meals as possible, within reason, of course, between now and the show. But they're pretty much well on their way. But we'll have a few more meals into them by the time the show comes around. The baby Pitayas mucosa are doing fantastic, and they are growing also quite fast. I have a trio going quite well of captive baby Ganya Soma red-tailed green rat snakes. So there's a couple others that are being finicky, but I have a nice trio that are feeding really well. And Gemicincta, I think I have 1.2, and they're growing quite well. So we'll be bringing these guys out as well. Okay, you guys, that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is pretty much my way of letting you guys know what we will have at the expo. And just a quick little update with this guy too, right? Finally finished that off. So I'm actually kind of happy about that. Apple was laughing at me because I had to stick my head in this room a couple times last night after we put it up. I had to, like, you know, remind myself that that sucker was done. My website was hacked about 4 weeks ago. All of a sudden it was redirecting to porn. So I didn't, I didn't want you guys to have to go through that. So right now my domain is pointed at my Facebook business page, but because Facebook doesn't like the sales of animals, the whole thing kind of doesn't make any sense. But I'm working on the website. I had to start with a new template, and I'm just kind of updating it right now, and I'll make that live here pretty soon. So for any of you that go back and reference it for the Pitayas carinata article that I wrote, the Paradisi article, the photos of the previous imports and those sorts of things, and of course that's where you can find all the links to all of our videos as well. But for those of you that look at that here and there and reference it, it should be live here pretty soon. I'm just using all my spare time and kind of updating the links and that sort of thing. So that kind of sucked. Cost me a little bit of money to get that sucker back up. But we're almost there. It's just the way it is, right? That's what happens nowadays. I didn't show you everything that we're going to have at the expo. Just kind of gave you guys a preview. I always try to save a few little things here and there, different surprises for you guys to see. Give you guys a reason to come out and see us at the show. It looks like our buddy Herman from Costa Rica is going to make it. He's going to be staying with us at our house. And our booth is actually going to be shared between us and him. He's going to be selling, I believe, Costa Rican coffee and Costa Rican honey. If you want to support him and his rescue center, come and buy some of that coffee and that honey, because it's really good. We had both when we were down there. You can see it in our videos from our trip. So that was really cool. I'm just trying to think what else there is. I haven't been putting out that many videos because it's just been I mean, there's a lot happening, but there's not a lot of video-worthy things happening. So I just wanted to take this time this weekend to do a video, let you guys know that I'm still alive and we're still doing our thing. Reptile Super Show is January 4th and 5th, and then we're flying out on the 10th. So I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say anything yet, so maybe I won't, but we are doing a collab with another YouTuber in Thailand. They're going to roll out to our house, and we're going to do a bunch of stuff around the house, and we're going to get to some national parks and do some just standard Thailand stuff. So you guys, you know, subscribe or pay attention to the channel at least. You'll be able to see that. That should be interesting and should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. Right after they fly home, we're flying to Indonesia to the reptile farm. From Indonesia, we're flying to Malaysia to the facility in Kuala Lumpur. And then from there, we're going to have ourselves a little bit of some island hopping, some island time, and some jungle adventure. I think you guys don't want to miss it. It's going to be lots of reptiles, especially I can say that because it's not just what we find herping, it's all the stuff that we're going to see on the farm. So if you guys are into that, make sure you don't miss it. It's coming up. So January is going to be exciting. We'll do a video from the Reptile Super Show, of course. That's about all I can think of right now, you guys. Thank you for watching, and just watch for our videos. I think it's going to be worth it. All right, thanks, you guys. Have a good weekend. See ya.